Hey Candles, welcome to Candela Learnings. This is Akshay, your social science tutor. So in today's session, we'll be looking into some of the important questions of this chapter. So the first question is, what is Joint Forest Management Program, which was the first state to adopt this program? As I told you in the previous session, it's always easy to frame a sentence if we know the keywords. Keywords actually help us to remember a scenario, a checkpoint from where we can continue with whatever sentence we are trying to frame. So here I mentioned certain keywords to remember, which are local communities, management, degraded forest, and the year 1988 and Odisha. And one more thing, see, it's easy for me to remember these points, which is why I prefer to choose them. So if you guys feel a different word is more suitable for you to remember, go for it. So here we know that joint forest management is a program. You can also use the word program as a keyword here if you want to. So if we arrange the keywords starting from the program, then local communities, which means the program involved local communities. So if there is an involvement of local communities, there should be a reason, right? What is that? There comes the word management. So the involvement of local communities is necessary for the management and restoration of what? Exactly, degraded forest. So the last two keywords, that is the year 1988 and Odisha. The year is representing the start of this program and Odisha is the state where it began. Based on that question, you can frame a simple sentence from these two words. Okay, moving on to the next question. In India, much of its forest and wildlife resources are either owned or managed by the government through forest department or other government departments. Name the categories classified under it. It simply means we have to differentiate the forest by stating some differences among them. And here I didn't use any keywords because it's quite easy to understand. All you have to do is just focus on the concept, okay? And now, we know there are three types of forest: reserved, protected and unclassed forest. Now what we have to do is differentiate them one by one. See, when we take the total forest area of our country, more than 50% are reserve forest and one-third of the forest are protected forest. And the remaining wasteland or forest that belong to the government, community or any other individuals are called unclassed forest. See here, reserve forest and protected forest aim for conservation itself. The motive is same. But what makes them different is reserve forest aims for the protection of specific plant or animal species. This means human activities are strictly prohibited in this area, whereas protected forest allow limited human activities because these forests are used for timber harvesting, wildlife conservation and other sustainable forest management practices. And one additional point which you can include is their similarity. Like they have something in common, which is protected forest and reserve forest are commonly called as permanent forest. Okay. So moving on to the next question. Describe how communities have conserved and protected forest and wildlife in India. So here also the same format. As we discussed the first question, I use the keywords here. See the first sentence. Chipko movement and deforestation are the keywords. From this, we can understand that Chipko movement was started to prevent deforestation. See here, we don't have to elaborate too much because the question is not asking for a detailed explanation here. But whenever the question is mentioning a detailed explanation, then you can write about where and when this incident took place. Like it took place in the Himalayas in the year 1973, just like that. So the second point is talking about the Sariska Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, where the local communities of that area started to protest against mining. And the last point is talking about Bairodev Daka Sanctuary. See, the communities of 5 villages in the Alwar district have proclaimed 1,200 hectares of forest as Bairodev Daka Sanctuary. This was done in order to protect the habitat from hunting and other outside encroachments. Okay. So, the next question is, name the states that have the largest percentages of reserve forest of its total forest area. So the question here is simply asking us to give the names of the states which has the highest concentrations of reserve forest. And here I mentioned the states. See, for this question, you have to by heart the names of the states. See, there is an easy way to do that. Listen here. Please take a look at the first letters of every word. So, when they combine, it will be like this. Now, what you have to do is split those letters into three sets, with the first set having three letters and the remaining two sets having two letters each. So, when pronouncing these letters at a time, it will be like cat, Jew, MW. It sounds funny, I know, but listen here. The first set, which is cat, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, belong to the south side of India. So the next set, that is Jew, Jammu and Kashmir and Uttarakhand, these states are on the north side of our country. Okay, and the last set, that is M and W, which is Maharashtra and West Bengal. One is in central India and the other one is on the east side. In this way, it's easy to remember. Okay, now moving on to the last question. The 33% of the area should be under forest. Justify the statement highlighting the advantages of forest. So here we have to state the advantages of the forest. So we'll discuss the points one by one. So the first point is stating that by reducing the flow of rainwater into rivers, they lessen flooding and enhance water quality. It's a direct answer. Forest actually helps in controlling the speed of the stream, and when that happens, they improve the water quality and minimize flooding. That's it. So now the second point, which is they contribute significantly to soil erosion by keeping the soil firmly in place. It's true. Forests actually play a crucial role in preventing soil erosion by providing a protective cover for the soil. I'll explain. Listen here. The roots of the trees in the forest helps to bind the soil together, and because of this, erosion by wind and water is subdued. Okay, so the next point, to nourish the soil and aquatic organisms, they supply fallen leaves. See, when leaves fall to the ground, they decompose and release essential nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, like that, into the soil. Then these nutrients are taken up by the plants or other organisms. From this you can understand, right, that it is a cyclic activity, like it's getting repeated, right? Okay, so the next point is forests reduce temperatures and remove dust, which improves air quality, particularly in the summer. See here, two qualities are mentioned in one sentence. One is reducing temperature and the other one is removing dust. Temperature is getting reduced because of a process called evapotranspiration. Here what happens is plants and trees release moisture into the atmosphere through their leaves, and because of this process the surroundings will be experiencing a cool atmosphere and the temperature will be getting reduced. And one more thing, there is nothing related to this process in the textbook. It's completely an out of context data. Here I'm just trying to give you an idea of how it happens actually. That's it. In exams and all, you don't have to mention this process. Okay. Now the next point is helps to increase the groundwater level. Trees and other vegetation intercept rainwater, slowing its flow across the land and giving it more time to infiltrate into the earth. Okay. See, one point is already mentioned here. I mean, the reason for the increase in groundwater. Actually, there are many reasons. See, moments ago, I just told you about evapotranspiration, right? Like the plants and trees release moisture into the atmosphere through their leaves. So, trees will absorb water from the soil through their roots and then they release it back to the atmosphere through their leaves. See, what happens is the moisture content that the trees release will be absorbed by the soils too. So, it increases the moisture content of the soil, which in turn leads to an increase in the groundwater level. So this is an additional point, you just have to remember it. So today's session came to an end. We'll be seeing soon in the upcoming session with a new chapter. Till then, bye.